really get the chance to mention this on the channel, but I really love theme parks. Sure, some aspects of them might suck, like waiting in line for an hour to go on the most okay ride of all time, being in intense crowds at all times, and paying $5 for the Zani water bottle, but theme parks give me the opportunity to see the minions in their real life. So every bad thing is automatically unimportant. Mascot horror is a topic I've talked about a lot on this channel, and by a lot I mean like 4 times. Recently, a new mascot horror game called Indigo Park has come out by a YouTuber called Unique Geese after he made a better version of Garten of Banban in 1 week with no game dev experience. Once I heard about the game, I decided to play it because again, I really like theme parks. Also, I like the Raccoon. So here's my review of Indigo Park 3 weeks after the game came out. Really striking an iron while it's hot, aren't I? I'm gonna be counting every theme park reference I see, cause sure, why not? Indigo Park starts off with a black and white video of a speech from the park's creator, Isaac Indigo. Poor guy was probably bullied at school. The video is probably a reference to that Disneyland TV thing that was airing to advertise the park. I can't remember its name. And the speech is most likely a reference to Walt's speech. The Indigo Park logo is reference to the Disneyland logo, and the park's name being based off the creator's last name is probably a reference to how Walt Disney's park is called Disneyland. Right off the bat, that's 4 theme park references. Then a video glitches out and the camera zooms out to reveal that we were watching it in our epic gaming setup. An important piece of lore here is revealed in this scene, which is that we are an urban explorer, which is why we're going to now defunct Indigo Park. Also, the park's entrance looks like the Disney World entrance, so that's another reference. The opening is really well done. It looks super good, especially the parts that are meant to be camera footage, and I like the part that syncs to the music. After the opening, it was time to go inside the park. However, the main gate was locked, so I had to go to an employees only room.
Hi there, and welcome to Indigo Park!
This is Rambley the Raccoon, and he's like Landmark Freddy from Security Breach, except he's an AI program and not completely overpowered. Rambley's the best part of the game. He's animated super well, his design is really good, and his voice is funny. Rambley says I'm the first guest in 2,000 days, and he tells me to go over to the registration center so I can get on the guest list and enter the park. I noticed it since I was looking at the comment section of an Indigo Park video, but during the part where Rambley says he wants to get a good look at you, the camera on the computer actually turns on, which is a cool detail. Anyways, the main gate doesn't open after registering because there's no power, so I had to go turn it on by putting a gear into the generator. The gameplay is where Indigo Park kind of falls flat, since it mostly just consists of walking around, finding a gear, and putting it on a generator. This is just the first chapter though, and the first chapters of mascot horror games don't really have much gameplay, and introduce some more mechanics later on, so I can see the gameplay of Indigo Park getting better in the next chapter. After turning on the generator, I enter the park. Unfortunately, I can't get very far because in order to pass this turnstile, I need a critic cuff. That's a Magic Band reference. I think it's really cool to turn an actual thing used in theme parks into a mechanic, but I wonder how it's going to be used in the future. Right now all it does is open doors, although it can apparently scare away monsters, so maybe that will turn into a gameplay mechanic in future chapters. After getting a critic cuff, a door locks, and I have to use a cuff to open it. I bring this up because it's implied that Rambley closed it in order to give you the chance to try the critic cuff, and like, did Rambley do this every time someone got one of these? What if someone was just walking through the door and it suddenly closed on them because Rambley wanted to teach little Timmy how to use the critter cuff? Once I used the critter cuff on the turnstile, I was greeted by a statue of Rambley and Isaac Indigo, which is a reference to the statue of Walt and Mickey. I go through this tunnel and for some reason a bunch of rocks fall and knock me in. I have no idea how this happened. There aren't even rocks around this area. Anyways, it seems to be reference to the tunnel that Magic Kingdom and Disneyland has. There's even posters that advertise the park's rides, which is a cool detail. After walking around for a bit, Rambley shows up and suggests that I go on this epic railroad ride. Once I get in line for it, Rambley says that I'm older than the target audience for the ride, even though he suggested I go on it in the first place. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be a reference to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. The ride has a train theme and Rambley appears on a screen at the front of the train, just like how Goofy does in Runaway Railway. It took me so long to pronounce Runaway Railway. I just want to introduce all of Rambley's friends, starting with Molly Macaw, who's a pilot. She's not very good though, as it's revealed she's crashing those 6 barns in a week. She must be driving one of those Boeing planes, am I right? Bazinga! Rambley and Molly talk for a bit, and what was that? So yeah, Molly Macaw is the chapter's main antagonist, and she stalks you throughout the game like a little freak. After Molly advertises her own ride, we're introduced to Finley. He says he's known Rambley for 100 years, which is how old Disney is, so I'm gonna count that as another Disney reference. Finley advertises his own ride, and then we move on to the next part of the ride. I think the ride's broken. This section of the ride should have been focused on Salem the skunk, but for some reason everything is destroyed. Scary stuff. In order to continue with the ride, I had to turn the power back on. It was time for some more awesome Find a Gear gameplay. Also, there's an animatronic Molly Macaw jump scare. It spooked me. Then I turned the power back on and was ready to continue the ride. The next section introduces us to Lloyd the Lion, who Rambley hates for no particular reason.
Hey there, Lloyd. Great act, Lloyd.
Okay, now that I think about it, Lloyd is the only character that doesn't advertise his own ride, so maybe Rambley hates him for not being a sellout. Apparently, Molly is actually behind you during the Lloyd part of the ride, and I'm really glad it didn't look behind me, because I would have gotten a heart attack. Then the ride ends, and Rambley begins talking to us again.
So, what do you think? Pretty fun, right? Now you know all about my friends and Lloyd.
Once Rambley leaves, images from the cameras that were recording us during the ride show up, and So now it's time to go outside, and this area is pretty much just Main Street from Magic Kingdom and Disneyland. In fact, the theater that Rambley tells us to go to in order to find a key to Death Stream Junction is located in the same area of the park that the Town Square Theater and Disney World and the Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln show in Disneyland are. I go into the theater and see Lloyd sleeping on the stage. However, once I get too close to him, he ran away! After going behind the curtains, I go to the backstage area and see Lloyd. He runs through the area in order to get away from this weirdo as fast as possible, but then he attacks me! What a loser. I get the key and start going to the exit. And once I get to the exit, I try to use my critter cuff to open the door, but Lloyd does a terrifying jump scare. Thankfully, the critter cuff scares Lloyd away because he's a coward or something, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool to have a monster that's actually scared of you. I haven't seen any other mascot horror game do something like this. Once I leave the theater, it's time to open the lock to Jet Stream Junction and enter the building. After do that, Rambley suggests that I visit Molly's rooftop races, and it's a good warm-up for bigger rides. The Jet Stream Junction logo looks like the Soarin' logo. Okay, so in Jet Stream Junction, there's an arcade game where you can play as Rambley and feel that Salem is evil or something, and that she turned to Molly evil, but I didn't play it because I was scared and I didn't want to explore the place. I went to rooftop races, but my path is blocked, which made me sad because I wanted to go on another ride. Rambley then tells us to go to Molly's landing pad, which is not a ride, but a dumb, stupid little play area for little babies. This area has the only real puzzle in the game. In the puzzle, you must find colored shapes on the wall and make these boxes correspond to them. Also, Molly is stalking you throughout this section, which isn't scary at all. After finishing the puzzle, a door opens. After going through that door and opening another door, this happens. Now it's time for Molly McCaw's terrifying chase scene where you must traverse through the landing pad and not die to Molly. Speaking of dying to Molly, when she kills you, there's a cool death screen and I like it. After going through a vent like a sussy imposter, why did I say that? You go to a room that seems like a dead end, but then this happens. There's blood in this part and I hate blood, so I'm gonna play my epic version of it instead. So Molly seems to be dead, which is good. Then Rambley shows up again. Rambley begins apologizing for everything and says that he was just so excited to see someone after everyone mysteriously stopped showing up to the park. He says that he didn't realize how destroyed the park is, which makes him have an idea. He thinks that with your help, the park can be restored to its former glory and all his friends and Lloyd can be saved. Okay, most of his friends and Lloyd. Rambley hires me and says to leave the room. After leaving the room, I go to Oceanic Odyssey, where this happens.
Sun perches as far as the eye can see. But please don't tap the glass. Never really know what lies beneath the surface.
Hey, I didn't like that. That was Indigo Park. Honestly, the game was pretty good. It's not a masterpiece or anything, but I wasn't expecting it to be. It's a free 30-minute game made by a really small team. Also, being a first chapter, it's mostly just meant to set up the story and get people hooked on the game so they can donate money. The future chapters can be bigger and better. Music in this game is really good. The menu theme, opening theme, and chase theme go really hard for no reason. And Rambley review is better than any song in Wish.
At Indigo Park, there is a stark contrast to everything I know this place should be.
I got these jeans from outer space!
Speaking of which, in Rambley review, Rambley asks us if our dreams came true in Indigo Park, which is probably a reference to Disney World being where dreams come true. And by dreams come true, I guess they mean lackluster ride overhauls.
Bazinga!
The environments are cool as well. I really like to destroy the park setting. It's not really something I've seen before. There are some weird stuff I spotted though, like platforms floating above the clock tower. There's collectibles you can find throughout the game, and I like that they're there. I didn't realize this, but if you click on the collectibles, Rambley will say something about them. Here's what happens when you click on a Lloyd collectible.
I don't get why we even have those. And why do they only make one of Lloyd? Is it because he's the loudest? I can be loud too! Where's my limited edition throwback plush? Where's Molly's? Where's Finley's? Give this mistake to a child and they'll cry.
I read about
The collectibles are cool. If I wasn't so scared, I would have looked for them more. Speaking of being scared, this game probably isn't very scary, but I'm a coward and was constantly on edge throughout the entire thing. I didn't find the chase scene scary though, even though I was dreading it. I was too busy enjoying the music to be scared by Molly McCaw. I think that the designs in this game were really good. It's cool to me that all the monsters in this game are realistic animals. The enemies in most mascot horror games are really cartoony animals. Like Jumbo Josh in Garden of Ban is meant to be a gorilla. All the 2D designs were also really good. Rambley is cute and I want to pet him, but unfortunately raccoons aren't real. I think the camera should have locked the window at the end of the game. I almost missed a Finley reveal because I didn't know where to look. It'd be cool if the game had achievements. Maybe you can get them by getting collectibles or something. I don't know. I just really like achievements. In conclusion, I enjoyed Indigo Park and I'm excited to see what happens next in the game. Hopefully we gotta go on more rides. Please add more rides. The game seems to have a lot of passion put into it, so I can see it improving a lot. Unique's even encourages criticism in order to make his game the best it can be, so that's nice. The total amount of theme park references is 12, but I might have missed some or counted wrong. So if I did do that, please tell me in the comments section if I did. Have you excused me? I must continue watching an unhealthy amount of theme park videos. Bye, I guess.